What did you say?
He said good trip.
No, what did you say?
You had fun at Billy Strings.
I did.
I know.
And it was all because the universe wanted me to.
I never thought that I would hear you say that.
I never thought I would either. And now it's on recording for everyone to hear.
The universe conspired for him to have a good time, and he doesn't even like bluegrass.
So now I hate the fucking universe. Okay, look, here's what's up. Welcome to Some People Like Us, a podcast for goofs, goons, bozos, ding-dongs, ding-bats, ding-a-lings, every ding there is, man. That's not good. But anyways, that being... I've been told I say that being said a lot. That being said, I did have fun at Bluegrass, and that...
I knew you would. It really did work out.
Really...
It worked out for you to go. I'm just happy you decided to
Okay,
go.
so here's how this happens. I get a message from our friend Patrick on Friday, I think, or Thursday, maybe. And he's like, hey, you want to come see some bluegrass with me and Brandon this weekend? Winky face, ha ha ha. You know, like he knows. I'm like, no. And for the listeners and viewers, let me explain. It is my fault. I am too ADD for blues, bluegrass, and reggae. I like it. I don't actively dislike it, but if I go to see it, I feel like I've heard 3 songs and I'm like, I've heard everything you're gonna do. It's like it's very formulaic, bluegrass, you know. There's
G. Bluegrass starts in G.
There's very specific chord changes, and there's like for each of those genres, there's like 5 possible mixtures of chord progressions, and then they just change the key and change the lyrics, and it's a new song, you know. So I just obsess, and I can't enjoy it. It is something wrong with me. It's nothing wrong with
that he doesn't
the people that do enjoy
the
those,
right? Whatever, you know, the songwriting ability,
and the people that I'm there with, I'm going to annoy the shit out of. Because I like the energy and being in the atmosphere, but then I'm going to be like talking to you or something, and you're going to be like, I'm trying to watch this show right now.
I did.
And that did happen.
I think I told him, I was like, hey, you're my best friend. I'll listen to you talk to me, but not right now.
Yeah. And I was like, too bad, because I'm all fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's part of this story. So Patrick says that. They had a gig on Friday, so couldn't, you know. And then Saturday, he was like still messaging me about it, and I was like, okay, how much for the ticket? And he goes, Caitlin said for you, it's free. And I was like, shit, all right. But it was in Schaumburg, so I thought they were like, you know, driving back and forth or something, like after the first night they came home or whatever. And he goes, so just get yourself to Schaumburg and you're in. And I was like, oh, well, now, see, like, that was going to be my excuse. Like, my piece of shit car is
but the
not...
the universe wouldn't give it to him.
Right.
Like,
it's not going to make it to Schaumburg. But before I have the chance to say that, he goes, and Michael and RJ are driving up today, so you can just ride with them. And I was like,
which
shit.
He fucking did.
So I do. And then once I'm there, I was like, you know what? This is obviously where I was meant to be today. everything just sort of fell into place for this to happen. So I totally yes manned. I pulled the old Jim Carrey. Just everything that I would normally be like no. I was like, yep. Oh, sure. Do I want to eat some mushrooms in a public place right now? Sure. Molly on top of it? Yeah, of course. We were walking in and the guy goes, all right, everybody, you got to finish your beers because you can't bring them inside. And I had a full tall boy of PBR, which I fucking chug, and I throw the can away, and then I see a sealed, ice cold with condensation on the outside of it, can of Modelo. And I go, well... And I pick it up and I plunge my keys in it and I shotgun it right there. And Pat's like, Ian's getting bucked tonight. And I was like, hell yeah, I am. He's like, he just shotgunned a trash beer. I was like, it was on top of the trash, but yeah.
And unopened. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's when he knew.
Dude. And I was correct. It wasn't like I got there and I was like, just open my eyes to bluegrass. Like, I have seen it. I have done it. It was fun. It was good. But I was just like really like, this is the first time I've been in this kind of atmosphere for, a year. And so a lot of weird shit happened. I'm like standing outside a porta potty smoking a cigarette, and like it was on like a amateur baseball field, but there are planks down over the diamond and most of the outfield.
The amateur baseball field has grass, and we're in it.
Well, there is like one 5-foot by 30-foot sliver of grass that you could possibly stand on. The rest of it was covered by these planks. So I'm standing on that one sliver, and I'm watching the stage, and this like super hippie guy walks up next to me, and he's got no shoes on, and he's like, this is nice grass. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, it's real too. And I was like, cool. And he just walks away. And
this feels like minor league grass.
Right. This is like almost big league shit, dude.
Almost.
He starts walking away. And then this like biker looking dude comes walking up to me. And I'm like still taking in what that guy just said to me. And the biker dude goes, this is nice grass. And so I go, and it's real too. And the biker dude walks past me and goes into the porta potty. By this point, I'm already on mushrooms and like drunk.
And he's on the grass.
So I like finish my cigarette and I like put it out and I throw the butt away. And as I'm doing that, the biker guy walks past me again and I go, hey man, I'm sorry about earlier, but I swear to God, it is real. And he was like, what the fuck? And like walked away like I scared the shit out of this like tough guy just by being that level of weird.
So I don't know if this happened before or after all of this with him, but I was walking to go to the porta potties along this strip of grass, and I swear to God, this dude's like standing there and kind of like checking it out. You could tell he enjoyed it. And he's like, there's some nice grass. I swear to God.
So just so you guys know, if you ever go to a Schaumburg fucking Boomers game, that grass feels just as nice as it looks.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and it's real.
We can guarantee it.
Oh, and we were cool frogging everybody. Okay, let me explain that because I feel like this is such a part of my vernacular that if you listen to this podcast, you need to know what the fuck this shit means. This guy comes up to me and our friend Rachel at Finnegan's one night, and he's like, we played the Monster Mash like we do. And so we're fucking bopping, and this dude just comes up and starts like chatting us up and being weird as shit and just like trying to relate to us, but then telling stories that don't really have anything to do with each other and are just weird. And he's like a conservatively 57-year-old man. And he's like, man, you guys are a lot of fun. He's like, my name's Kevin, but all my friends call me Cool Frog. And I was like, no one. It's just in my head, you know. I was nice to the weird old man, but in my mind, I was like, not only am I positive no one has ever called you Cool Frog, now I'm questioning whether you even have friends. You know, like, how deep does this lie go, Cool Frog? But so now that is like a phrase that I use for like when people think they're giving off big dick energy and they're failing. You know, like they're just confident beyond what they should be. It's like, wow, we got some Cool Frog vibes over here, you know. So I'm telling our friends that story on the way up to the gig, and then it like everybody picked it up.
At this point,
like, but they picked it up too. And as soon as we get there, like this guy that's clearly an undercover cop walks up and he's like, "Oh, hey, you guys got any extra tickets or something?" And Levi goes, "Well, I don't know. Why don't you check the box office, Cool Frog?" and I turn to the guy and I go, "He does look like Cool Frog." And then the guy looks at me and I was like, "I'm sorry, you just look a lot like our friend Cool Frog." And the guy goes, "I am kind of a cool frog." And I was like, "Damn right you are. Never let anyone tell you any different, Cool Frog."
Like, yeah, that's the coolest frog thing to say.
Right. Like, sure. You couldn't have walked more into the insult. I was, you know. It's like he just picked two fucking random, like, a dude who was, like, cool in the early 70s, like, hippie words. He was like, Cool Frog. Like, he might as well have been like, my friends call me Groovy Doobie. No, they don't. Cool Frog? It doesn't. But so that was like all weekend. It was like, Cool Frog. And then in the middle of the show, and I'm like high as pie. And Mike walks up to me and he goes, "Hey, I just went past the merch." And he's like, "I saw this. I had to get it for you for the coolest frog I know." And it was a show shirt from the merch table with this like cool frog on it. I was like, the universe is telling me this is where you should be. Fucking with cool frogs at the Billy Strings show.
This makes me so happy to hear. Honestly. And
then
he knows.
That night at the hotel, something happened that I look at it as a testament of just how close and beautiful our friendship is.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and this is just such a some people like us story and experience. So me and Patrick continue to yes man to the fucking sunrise at the hotel that they had procured. Once again, they were like, "We got a hotel that you can stay at." Like, yeah. So Pat and I stay up forever. Katie and Brandon are like, "We're going to sleep. See you guys." Next thing you know, I'm like hitting a DMT pen at sunrise from some dude I just met. I'm like, dude, I kept telling people all night long. People, like, a bunch of people from the show were at the hotel, so they're all like out front smoking and stuff. So all night long, there's just a party in the parking lot of people from the show. And multiple people were like, "You're a really interesting guy, dude. What's your name?" And I kept telling people my name was Pischetti for some reason.
Oh, yeah. I'm Pischetti. Nice to meet you.
Pischetti, dude. But this one guy, I was like, "My name's Pischetti, but my friends call me Cool Frog." And he goes, "Nice to meet you, Cool Frog." And I was like,
that's what he went with.
"Hey, we just met. Let's keep it at Pischetti for right now." And then he goes, "What?" And I go, "I'm kidding. You can totally call me Cool Frog." Like, I took this guy through a roller coaster of emotions. I don't want to be called either name. And then afterward, I saw him do the mental gymnastics of, wait, if Cool Frog is his nickname, is Pischetti his birth name? Like, is that like his Christian name?
It was so ridiculous that they had
when
to come
someone
up with
tells you their name is Pischetti, you're like, okay, that's their nickname. And then they go, "But my friends call me," and give you a nickname? Wait, so your name is Pischetti, is what you're trying to say. So I'm doing that kind of shit all goddamn night long. Then when we go to sleep, me and Pat are like the two loudest motherfuckers in the world. So we had like just been partying in the parking lot forever. And I was like,
they're in their own little world.
We're like, we need to be quiet when we go in here. And we were. It was so surprising how quiet we were. Like, we both were like, I'm proud of you.
Because they love me.
Like, mouthing, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You know? And Brandon is laying, Pat and Katie are boyfriend and girlfriend, so they're sharing a bed. Brandon's in the other bed, and he is in the middle of the fucking bed, wrapped up in the blanket like a pharaoh in a sarcophagus, just dead center in the middle of the bed.
Think about how comfy you're going to be when you're dead. That's how comfy I was.
I look at Pat and I go, he's fucking with me, right? And Pat starts laughing. I'm like, Dito. Nothing. And so I'm like, all right, fuck it. In the state I'm in, I could probably sleep anywhere, and I deserve to sleep in a shitty place. So I just get right on the very edge of this bed, and there is a little bit of blanket, and I pull it over me, and I put the blanket between my legs, and then I am holding the blanket, and then I feel him like try and roll over and pull the blanket, and I was like, just fucking strong-armed it. I was like, if I let go now, I'll never see this blanket again. And so, Pat had the fucking AC blasting because...
Allow me to interject real quickly, though. When he came in from the night, I thought he had already been in the bed in my sleepy state. I thought he went to the bathroom, was coming back. I'm awake enough. I'm going to fuck with this guy. And when I hear him go to the bathroom, I sprawl out. And then he comes back and he's like, Dito. I'm like, okay. This is going to be fun. And then, like, he grabbed a little bit of blanket and I fucking pulled over.
So like, he is fucking with him.
But I'm also, like, going in and out of sleep. I don't, like...
Right. So
he went to the bathroom when he first got there. So like, and then I fell asleep and then proceeded to fuck with them because it's fun.
But the most fucking with me he did the whole time is the part he was asleep for.
Yeah.
So after the blanket pull, he falls back asleep, and then he rolls over, but still not like rolled over to the other side of the bed, like turned in his place, rolled over. So he's still in the middle of the bed. And the only parts of our bodies that are touching were fucking butt to butt, dude. Like his ass was on my ass. And I'm laying there and unable to sleep. And in my mind, I'm thinking of like, I want to just say things or sing something. But I'm like, these good people are trying to sleep. They've created this wonderful experience, adventure for me the whole day, everything. Like, you know, these guys made it happen that I had fun today. So don't, Ian, don't. Well, when he rolls over and we're fucking butt to butt, all of a sudden I think of that scene in Requiem for a Dream when the guy's like, ass to ass, ass to ass. Which is a horrifying, awful scene, but that guy going ass to ass is the funniest thing in the world to me. So I think of that while we're ass to ass. And then I want to laugh, but I'm like, no, still keep it in. And literally I think, no, still don't laugh. And he farts on my butt. And then I think the phrase, he farted on my butt, and the combination of words is just like the most childish, immature thing that I was like, nope, I'm laughing. Now I'm laughing. But the thing, like, this is why I say it's a testament to our friendship. A, we're close enough that I can admit I'm a sleep farter. I know it. B, if it were anyone else in the world, I was like, and I told Pat the next day when I was telling this story, I was like, you included. I was like, Stefan, fucking my kid, I would wake that person up, I would say,
you just
shit both our pants. Scoot over, apologize to me, and go back to bed. But I assessed the moment. It was a dry heat. There was no humidity. And I was
in fact, did not shit our pants.
I think instead I just said, I love you. And angrily tried to go back to sleep, which I eventually did. But, I mean, that is like a real... that's better than Blood.
A really good time.
That's better than Blood Brothers.
So we were also supposed to go
like
to two shows, the COVID times. And
yes.
So, because we realized we'd never been to see live music when he's not working. And didn't work out. So this was like making up for it.
Yeah.
We're supposed to see Roger Waters and
Oysterhead. God, I want to go see Oysterhead.
No?
Man, fuck. Now that, see... You took me through a roller coaster of emotion now. We just had that great conversation, and then you brought up Oysterhead.
Back.
Well, speaking of roller coasters of emotion, our Animals Anonymous storyteller today will be Crystal Pistol. So give us one moment to get ready for that. All right.
Definitely.
Well, we have our anonymous storyteller, Crystal Pistol, here with us today. How are you doing, Crystal?
I'm well.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So, I understand you have something you want to get off your chest.
You know, I think it's time to tell the story of how I think I've become a vampire.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a real admission right there.
Not only is the story a thing, but you're also coming out with the fact that you're a vampire.
I'm coming out with the fact that
I think we are in the last day of Pride Month, so you're allowed to be proud about anything. So come out as a vampire, fucking own it, love it.
It's still up for debate.
Yeah. Have you told your parents that you're a vampire yet?
No.
Okay. That's why it's anonymous. I got you. Okay. Your secret's safe with us.
So, as a child, I had been to many amusement parks, most of which the amusement parks had roller coasters.
That's kind of their trade. Yeah, that's what they
Specifically, some ratchet roller coasters at this time. Rickety, rusty ones.
Oh, dude. We were like, our childhood was right on the cusp of that, like, the fucking cornballer and, like, the American Eagle, like, just, like, wooden... like, you're actually like seeing precise, shit flying off behind you to all of a sudden, right, it's, like, shit that's, like, people from NASA are, like, working on it, and it's, like, made out of fucking space-age material.
Safety protocols were not such a big deal.
Right. Mm-hmm. They were just becoming a thing, so we were like the test subjects for it, and most of the time those tests failed.
Absolutely. A lot of those times those tests were rusted up, and you would get maybe tetanus from touching one of them, or, you know, something.
They're like, we got to poke you with this thing to get your blood to test you, and then they're like, oops, we gave you fucking rabies. Like, I know that's not something that happens from metal, but we had poked a raccoon to test it earlier. It's a whole thing, but go get yourself checked out.
And sometimes the test, you just put people on it and see what happens.
Right. You just hope for the best.
Right.
So I had been to said amusement parks and said non-protocol roller coasters, and
well, so were you an enthusiast of roller coasters?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was merely an attendee with family at most of these amusement parks, and from being a second in family, my older brother was very much so like, you're gonna do this. You're gonna ride these coasters.
He was an older brother?
He was an older brother.
My older brother was very much an older brother, and he was like, get on the roller coaster, nerd.
Yeah, so most of it was based around that. And
so you were young.
the first time that there was an issue, I was maybe 7 years old. So
he was literally just this high and able to ride the roller coaster, and immediately there was an issue.
Well, so the roller coaster was at Six Flags Great America in Gurney Mills up there in Illinois. And it was a ride called the Whizzer. And the Whizzer did a few laps. Everything seemed to be going cool, and all of a sudden it then broke down at the topmost point of the ride. And at that point, no one on the ride it couldn't restart, so they had to bring up an attendee, someone who worked there, who then walked you down, each person one by one, pretty much down a narrow ladder. And I wasn't very afraid of heights at that moment. I was kind of I was a 7-8-year-old kid. I was cool with climbing trees and such. So it was okay, this isn't a big deal. But the fact that two roller coasters into my life, and exactly 2 roller coasters into my life, I think they closed it down.
We're being shown a picture of the Whizzer by our lovely engineer Fish, so we all know just how fucking awful of a situation this is. Yeah. And not only okay, I'm a kid and I'm not afraid of heights, but also I am being. They've pressured. Built a business around we know how to fucking have roller coasters, and then it breaks. Nothing is safe anymore.
Yes.
Literally your only job was to make this fucking roller coaster make it back to the end, and then it stopped in the middle, and it stopped so goddamn hard. They're we can't start it again, so we're gonna go through an insurance nightmare to get every single person down this crazy one of those people
your first experience
could have had a death wish and could have just been I'm climbing down the ladder and jumped and died.
Regardless,
they know that, and they still have no choice. If they're doing that, that is literally the only option they have. That's terrifying.
After the accident at the second roller coaster, the Whizzer, at the Whizzer.
You made it down safe.
We made it down safe. I broached the conversation with said parents and was this seems weird to me.
More responsible.
This seems weird to me. And they then told me.
The sign.
They then, at that point, told me of the Kittyland accident when I was much younger, at which that roller coaster I then had told you before was the one I had gotten tetanus from. I had no idea. So now I'm 7 or 8 years old and finding out that I am involved in 2 roller coaster accidents. I no longer want to be involved in roller coasters in my life. Yeah. Then.
So he goes on this new one called the Tetanus Giver.
Yeah.
But second roller coaster, 7 years old. Even as a young gun, you got to be thinking to yourself, maybe this isn't for me.
I absolutely immediately felt that.
You just Danny Glovering it at 8 years old. You're I'm too old for this shit. Getting on your third roller coaster.
So at this point, I'm 8 years old. I have told you about my older brother. I have 2 younger sisters as well. And they are of age to where they would enjoy Disney World at this point. So my parents take us down to Disney World. And down at Disney World, I have made mental note of roller coasters and the issues that I've had with roller coasters. So they're doing Space Mountain. They're doing the waterfall ride. They're doing a lot of rides. And this was a time when you could leave a 8 or 9-year-old kid at Disney. No one's going to say anything to him. I waited outside in fact, I was
you're
walking.
Holding your mom's purse.
Yeah.
He was playing dice with Goofy.
Playing CeeLo in the alley behind Space Mountain.
Absolutely. All and above. So I knew at that moment that I was, I had made a mental note that roller coasters were off the list for me at that point. 3 years later, my dad, who at the time worked as an engineer, I knew that, I knew that was his job title. and I didn't know if it was to trains and or if it was something else. You know,
engineer is so broad, it could literally be anything. He could be like, I designed paper plates for Dixie.
Yeah.
Like engineered these paper plates. Yeah.
Yeah. He could be the scientists in the world.
All of them. Like,
no.
My dad can do anything.
The sciencist.
He's got a science cyst. He tried this new medicine. He's got this big boil.
So at this point, I'm like 12 years old, and I'm well aware, you know, I haven't been on a roller coaster at this point in maybe 4 years.
Right.
I'm not going on roller coasters. Well, just a weary.
Just intelligent.
Weary.
He's like,
just intelligent.
Just weary.
I'm not scared. I'm just smart. Every time I do that, shit's awful. Why would I do that ever again?
So, my dad comes home one day, and he has tickets in his hand to an amusement park. And he's like, we're going. And I'm like thinking to myself at that point, okay, you know, another thing that I'll just duck out, you know, and like hang out on the outskirts.
I'll walk around.
A churro.
Right.
Well, turns out I find out that my dad is an engineer at a place that produces a welding machine that is so precise that it welds together a seamless weld, and this weld is used for massive companies. The U.S. government buys a lot of machines from the company. The NASA buys a lot of machines for this company.
Boeing.
So Boeing buys a lot of machines for this company. From this company, Northward Garment, whatever that company's name is, buys a lot of machines from my dad's company. And at this point, I find out that my dad is creating crazy machines that are causing massive havoc. In my mind,
he's an engineer.
He's an engineer. And, you know, the tickets that he brought home were given to him as a promo because his company had produced the welding machine that had put together this new roller coaster, Apollo's Chariot, at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, Virginia.
Sunday.
Happened to be the same place my mother, for many years, had wanted to take us boys and girls in the family to go to. It's a colonial town, Williamsburg, Virginia is. You can go there, you can eat ham salad.
You can eat ham salad.
Williamsburg,
Virginia. It's this crazy, stupid colonial town. Like they're still like they still pretend their people are slaves.
It's Buckley Homestead on a massive scale,
it's
and
super racist.
Still nobody gives a shit.
It's super racist, is what it is.
Yeah.
And I knew this at 12 years old, going to this place that is like colonial, like. So like
I know what colonial means.
So like slaves and like
these people are raping,
colonizers.
Killing
don't have a great track record.
In the name of God.
Right.
And Christianity. Anyways, we go to Williamsburg, Virginia. It is boring as balls. And
all of a sudden, Crystal's like, get me on a fucking roller coaster. If I watch one more person make fucking butter, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
This is so true. So after the third day of being at Williamsburg, Virginia, the tickets were for the opening day, and it was March 30th, 1999. And
this, like, it's an event. This is like the grand opening of like a new ride at a very famous, like,
what year was it?
March 30th, 1999.
Yeah. Is this pre-Diana or post-Diana?
Yes. So this is the part where it gets crazy. This
is the part where a roller coaster turns him into a vampire.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's where this roller coaster of his story has been going this whole time. This is how I became a vampire, and it's a bunch of roller coaster
tragedies. His dad was an engineer so that he could suck some blood later.
He engineered the vampirus gene.
So we go. And little do I know, I'm not very privy at this young age to a man by the name of Fabio. Although I remember seeing his bust
body
on books that my grandmother had, paperback books, and I knew immediately that, the way that people were acting, this guy was famous. And he had pure, delicious blood coursing through his body. And so...
You immediately can tell that. It was all that hanging out in racist Williamsburg for a couple days. He looked at Fabio and he was like, that guy looks like he has the most pure, delicious blood.
Long hair. We got to get rid of
this
him.
blonde hair, blue-eyed Adonis. You were in Williamsburg too long, baby. He's got pure blood in him.
So we have these special tickets, and Fabio, who was followed by women.
A news crew, probably.
Well, there was a news crew there. There was women dressed in a seat. What would that be? Caesar?
Like togas?
Like togas, yeah. So they're wearing togas. And they're like four
Apollo's
cars.
chariot. Now that part of this story makes so much more sense. So they got him, and he had two women with him that looked like slightly less attractive Fabios.
It was like four women in the front next to him. He was in the middle. Each row had 5. Behind him there was like 5 more, and then 5 more, and then me, my dad, and brother, and 2 other people that I have no idea were in the next row. My mom and sisters did not come to said event due to the lack of tickets.
They were like, just us.
Bummed.
Yeah, they were like, just
Fabio.
us guys are going to see Fabio.
Right.
So the ride takes off. And the ride is, how long is a roller coaster ride?
60 seconds.
Yeah.
Sometimes these ones at this time were a little bit longer. This was a little bit of a longer ride. And maybe a minute and a half
Look it up, fish.
A minute and a half in, he gets hit by a goose in the face. Fabio does. Direct hit. Boom. And blood is everywhere.
And that goose was honking the whole way. Like,
Dude, I remember this happening. I remember it being on the news.
Mm-hmm. As a young child, like somehow I didn't follow Fabio.
Yeah.
As a
it wasn't
D-list celebrity.
Right.
Who's Fabio?
Is that Princess Diana?
He's just a guy from paperback books you find at Goodwill.
I still don't know what Princess Diana actually was. She like the princess of the country at that point? Like that's such a weird.
Yeah, she
like
was.
There's so many princesses and
She was not from royalty, and she married royalty, and the royal family was very upset about it.
Okay.
So upset about it, they paparazzi.
I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
You gotta watch some documentaries about Princess
They
Di.
sent, she was in her car, and they sent this goose to fly right into the driver's face, and it was a horrible.
And when he says they, he means Fabio.
Fabio and his 2 ladies.
It turned out that this goose.
But so you get covered in Fabio and goose blood.
Yes.
You and your dad.
At least I get a taste.
You're like, I'll finally go on a roller coaster again. Surely nothing traumatic will happen. And then Fabio and a goose explode all over you.
3rd roller coaster. 3rd accident. I've never ridden a roller coaster since then. Should we try?
Is that how you became a vampire, or how you potentially became a goose man? That might have been goose blood that got in you.
I don't know.
Honk if you're horny.
Hot boy summer.
Hawk boy summer. Oh.
Wow.
Honk boy summer, y'all. Honk, honk.
So yeah, basically he was pissed. And
Fabio?
I'll just say this. Let's just tag it with this. He went on like a tirade after getting his face fixed. He needed it.
How could you let this happen?
He needed to get his, as a man of that age, right? This is the topper of all. How lucky. A free face surgery paid by Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, Virginia.
Right.
At the peak of it, this is the time when you need the tightening, you need the Botox, you need all this.
That's why he played it off so angry. He was like, I actually was scheduled for a whole facelift and nose job in September, and now it's covered, baby.
After,
even as a child, though, and I just want to clarify something.
Sure.
Busch Gardens is like related to like Busch Light, right? It's the same bush, I swear. Like even as
it is
a child, like I swear.
What's the garden part of that? Like Jedi's garden?
Yeah,
it's Jedi's garden.
I thought that it was like a beer garden and Busch.
No, it is. It's like U.S. Cellular Field or whatever.
Okay.
Like,
but as a child, that's what I wondered, and I'm like,
that's why the Simpsons they have Duff Gardens in that episode.
Okay,
and stuff.
I'm not cool with Busch Gardens. They needed a Free Willy. They needed a Free Willy a long time ago.
Why did you let Fabio's blood get in my mouth?
You should have let the whale go, and you should have caught that fucking goose. You guys you're going at it the wrong way.
So at that moment, though, like I said, he went on a tirade and would go from after getting his face fixed. The whole subject matter was based around the fact that he's like, it's gonna happen to a child, and they will be very, very disappointed once the child's face explodes like mine did with Goose. So there was safety precautions and protocols then at that.
Everybody's got to wear a goose helmet.
It's like they were waiting for you to ride that ride, and that
to figure it out.
They're like, okay, now we're gonna make this safer.
Yeah, there was a lot of cards. There was a lot of cards on that table. That's it. Yeah, no longer. Market. Kittyland, no longer a thing. Market.
Yeah.
Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, Virginia. I'm not even sure if they're still open. They may be closed due to the face thing. They're closed. Well, yeah.
As they should be, because there's dangerous geese. Crystal, I appreciate you telling us your horrifying tale of woe. And hopefully you get some of that sweet, sweet goose money rolling in one of these days.
Don't suck our blood after this either.
All right. Well, we're going to go on to our artist of the week. Thank you again, Crystal.
And he's hungry.
Yes.
There's no earthly way of knowing which direction we are going. There's no knowing where we're rowing or which way the river's flowing.
Hello there, I'm Sean, one of the behind-the-scenes dudes with Fishhook Studios. What are your thoughts on CBD? Have you ever enjoyed non-psychoactive cannabinoids? If not, let me tell you about them. CBD is amazing. I've never been diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I suffer from acute anxiety. I enjoy smoking CBD, but you can use oils, topicals, or cartridges. CBD is a light, calming, and natural product you should start integrating into your daily regimen. So how can you do that? Well, you can do that with Hempstreets. Hempstreets is an online retailer for all things CBD. And if you're interested in CBD and you'd like to support this podcast, use offer code HOOK at hempstreets.com and receive 15% off your entire purchase. Now, let's get back to the fucking show.
All right. Well, this is a change of pace. Our artist for the week, I decided, why does that just have to be musicians? There's all sorts of artists. Mm-hmm. We got all sorts of friends that do a lot of creative endeavors. So I figured we bring Mr. Kris Underwood here from Instant Regret.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Kris.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
And on a footnote, I do have to say that I do wholeheartedly believe that somewhere in this house, Dito does have a sticker of Calvin pissing on a fish logo. It's somewhere around here.
He saw the hurt and disappointment in my eyes when he said it, and he's like, "Nah, I'm joking." He starts throwing shit.
It's on my Chevy.
He's got a hidden Chevy somewhere in the house.
Yeah. That's why I never let you in my basement.
Yeah.
Oh shit! He starts shoving it under his bed every time I show over.
And I would like to. So, when you say artist, like, people automatically assume, like, oh, he paints, or oh, he plays guitar, or sings, or whatever, makes music. But aren't we all artists in this world?
Well, and also just creating something, creating content, Kris is an influencer. He's all over Instagram, like showing the new hot bikinis and toners for the summer and stuff, and getting all those follows and likes.
And those are usually the worst selling products around.
Really?
He keeps getting.
They're the ones that say, "Hey, all right, we're going to put that on clearance." By the end of the week, he keeps getting
cease and desist orders. Like,
we got to make something off this shit. Sell it for whatever you could get it for. for sure. But
so what was it that? Because you've always been a adventurous eater, a spicy food guy and stuff. What was it that made you finally take the step of, oh, this is entertaining for other people?
Well, it all started, like, I always have eaten spicy stuff, and me and Tiffany, my wife, we always would make salsas, and we decided to, like, all right, let's put a couple habaneros or a couple jalapenos.
So she likes that stuff too.
Not as much as I do. Like, I was surprised when we had Ian, Brian, Krista, and Andrea doing the one chip challenge a couple years back, and I'm still sorry about that, Ian. I cry myself to bed almost every other night because of that.
Laughing about how awful horrible. I did at it.
It was horrible, but like she'll do like challenges like that every once in a while. But it all started just doing a live stream on Facebook, and hey, watch me do this dumb shit. I'm stupid, and
got a good response.
Yeah, like and then it turned into, well, you should put something out like a YouTube series and stuff. And I'd always wanted to do something like that, but I never really had an idea of what I wanted to do as far as like the content I wanted to do. I thought about doing like a daily rant or something, or like a Peter Griffin, what grinds my gears and stuff like that. And I just said, let's just do the spicy thing. And then one video led to another and just stocking them up and having fun doing it. And
well, right. And it's like, if I'm gonna do this shit to my body and torture myself anyways, might as well like someone else get some enjoyment out of it. Like, it's not for naught if someone gets to see me like cry and have boogers running out of my nose.
It doesn't get
almost throwing up.
It doesn't get any easier the more you do either. Like, you think you're gonna get a tolerance, but it's like the last one I did was the Death Nut Challenge, the newest one, and the afterburn was so bad, and like the aftermath, the cramps I had were the worst I've ever had in my life.
You need to have another video series that's the day after. And it's just a camera outside the bathroom door while you expel whatever comes out after.
Well, I was legit like hunched over, like if you got shot in the stomach, I'd imagine that's what it felt like.
When we did the hot chip challenge, the day before, I was literally like reading, I was down some Wikipedia fucking rabbit hole, and like someone was describing what it feels like to get shot. And they're like, it's just like an intense burning and then a pressure, like someone's just fucking pushing their fingers in you. And that's exactly what I felt like when I ate this fucking chip. And I was like, this is a nightmare.
I think the exact quote was, "How could you do this to our friendship, Chris?"
Yeah.
At that point, I felt so bad.
There is that video out there.
Yeah,
there is. Yeah.
Well, right, and that's why I wanted to do it with you, is because you had done a couple, and you're clearly like, oh, this sucks, but you get through it. And I was like, for confident. Contrast. For like to make people see how much of a professional you are. I was like, I drink a glass of milk and I'm like, that's spicy. So I was like, I'll eat it, and people will see what it's like when a person who doesn't like spicy shit fucking does it.
And
it was a huge mistake.
It's also one of those things like where you say like it doesn't get easier. And like I used to be relatively sensitive to heat, and then I started incorporating a little more, and then I was like, oh, I can take this, and then it got hotter and hotter. But I think that you do plateau where
there's a threshold.
Totally.
There's a threshold of like, it really is.
Can only handle
like
this much.
when shit is hot, when it is spicy, it does like release endorphins and stuff. But there is a threshold of, okay, there's no pleasure here, or whatever pleasure is here is way taken over by the intense pain that's here. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I want to get my dick sucked, but I'm not going to get my dick sucked while someone's cutting my leg off, because it does nothing for me.
This too?
Well, I'm saying like,
that sounds fucking.
I was waiting to hear the pepper
I'm saying
part of
it doesn't matter.
I get to eat a hot pepper.
Like, it doesn't matter how good the good feeling is if the bad feeling is like way in the stratosphere. Like it's intense. And then I thought, well, I'll do a quantity challenge with you.
That was one of my favorite ones, man. That was fun.
Oh yeah, you did do that.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think if you just done
right?
all the burritos and then the tacos.
So it was 6 tacos and 6 burritos from Taco Bell.
No, it was 4 and 4.
Oh, 4 and 4? Yeah.
4 burritos, 4 tacos. It was the cravings.
If you want us to say 6, we'll say 6.
No.
It was 6 and 6.
I want people to think I ate 12 fucking items from Taco Bell.
It was a cravings burrito challenge. It was like 4 beefy 5-layer burritos and 4 soft tacos. And I'm like, the way I'm going in with this, I'm going to do the burritos first because those tacos, I could eat those some bitches in like 3 bites.
Right.
Well,
and it's like, I'm going to change it up for a little bit of like a change of texture.
This challenge, though, is what I want to know.
Well,
I don't know if anybody else did.
I told him I had wanted to do a quantity challenge with him. And then I think we were going to do like a pizza one. And I like, honestly, I'm not like a big pizza guy. Fucking red sauce isn't my jam.
Yeah.
So I was like, tacos though. I could eat fucking tacos all day long.
I went to Costco and bought like 4 boxes of those big ass fucking pizza rolls thinking you guys were coming over. And then they're like, I still got a bag of those fuckers in my freezer right now, dude.
Well, you're welcome then.
I like pizza rolls, but goddamn, at Costco, it's like quantity over quality.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. That was a fun one, man.
Yeah. So I'd make it through 3 of the burritos and I'm like, I just need to like switch it up. I needed, variety is the spice of life. And then the tacos all went down, no problem. But then that last burrito, the problem with the burritos is on both ends, there is a knot of dough.
That's
like
it,
where it's folded up. So like I got to basically like I was just like, I can't, my body won't let me put this inside of it.
Yeah, I pull those nuts off every time. Any excess, like, I'm trying to eat a burrito, but
I really want this shit that's inside of the tortilla.
That's where Taco Bell screws
is a
the pooch sometimes, man. Like, you get these, like, crunch wraps or some shit. It's like a grande crunch wrap. There's 2 times the seasoned beef and the freaking sour cream and the cheese. And then I bite into each corner, and there's a big old fucking wad of dough. Like, come on, man.
This doesn't even taste good. Like, I get that there's something going in my stomach, but this kind of sucks.
Yeah, Taco Bell, we're putting you on blast.
Go through the drive-thru and just hold the crunch wrap out the window and just crush it with my hands. Like, this is what you serve your patrons?
We've lost so many corporate sponsors that we'll never have anyways.
See, Totino's, we got Packy One Chip, they're done. Costco's done. I still have a membership, Costco. You gotta go get your toilet paper while you can.
So there's a chance that we could get a Costco sponsorship thanks to...
Right.
Maybe.
They're like, we'll pay you in hot dogs from the food court.
You know something funny, though?
Yeah.
I did do a video with these Hell Puffs. And I did it in my front room, and I didn't realize when I was filming that I had a Costco crate of toilet paper sitting right by the door. And everybody's like, oh, you're going to need that shit after you get done eating those hot puffs. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Whatever.
That should, like, you should rate every hot thing that you eat. And be like, whoa, this one I got to give 4 rolls of toilet paper to. Like, it's how many rolls of toilet paper you're going to need to clean up the mess that it's going to create inside your body.
When you were doing all those, like, those shorts last year with the Hops fellas, you know, like, it's, editing, it takes a minute to kind of, like, get the hang of doing that stuff.
Yeah, and find sort of your vision and the way, I mean, we do it with this.
Yeah.
It's
and the way that you go about,
editing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple ones I want to do that are like nobody wants to sit. Well, I'm not going to say nobody, but most people don't want to sit and watch a 30-minute video of somebody sitting there eating like we did. I think our video clocked in at like 28 minutes.
Yeah.
And everybody I like watching it. All the friends, they like watching it, but it's like kind of speed it up or slow it down. Like I finally got into the hang of like doing slow motion and fast forwarding and stuff.
But so also too, creating content like that, sometimes it's not just for an audience, sometimes it is just like there's a little part of you where it's like, this is kind of for me too.
Yeah,
that's why I started.
I want to look at myself crying and snotting all over.
Didn't one time you like threw up or something, right?
I did. Yeah, everybody was Marto. Kev kept telling me every video, he's like, when are you gonna puke? When are you gonna puke? I'm like, dude, you can't force yourself to puke. That shit's gotta come like natural. I'm not gonna sit there and make myself puke. The last one I did was the Death Nuts, and I knew it was coming, and Nate was over and he was working the camera. I'm like, film it. He's like, film one. I'm like, hit the fucking record button. It's happening. And it was just like, oh, here we go. And like, YouTube is so weird now with the.
They won't.
You can't put lightning in a bottle, baby.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
You
have,
throwing
like,
up is just like you pooping. You can't.
You can't do it. And like,
as long as you don't see the penetration.
Exactly.
You
That's
gotta
why I
hide
had
your orifice and then the puke.
I had a clear bag inside the can. Yeah, I had a clear bag inside the can. I just stuck my head in there, and you could see what was going on, but not really see what was going on. Yeah. So it worked out. You know, that was some of the worst shit ever, man.
I think that's the only time I've ever heard someone describe themselves puking with their head in a garbage can and say it worked out.
It worked out. You can see it, but you can't see it. You know,
sometimes fate just shines on you.
I'm like, this is it. And I just see Kev up in my head going, yeah, it's gonna happen. Oh, it's gonna happen, dude. Chris gonna throw up, dude. I'm like, fucking goddamn it. Yeah, all right. Here you go.
This one goes out to Kev.
I want to say something like afterwards. Just look at the camera, and be like, "Hey, Mardo, you fucking happy? It happened.
Yeah, right.
I need to go take a nap."
Oh man. So I don't want to ruin the surprise if it is like that way, but what do you got coming up down the pipeline?
You got the inquiring minds want to know what's going on here.
That's right.
And well, I've got a couple things. Speaking of Kev, I'm gonna do I think we're gonna do like a cereal eating challenge. We're just gonna get like a huge bowl, like 3 or 4 boxes of cereal, and knock out something stupid, and then
Reese Puffs.
No, I'm gonna do Fruity Pebbles. I'm gonna do Fruity Pebbles. He's gonna do Cocoa Pebbles, something like that.
Yeah.
Card subject to change on the cereals, but I've got another one by Johnny Scoville, which I'm gonna regret instantly regret doing. It's called 6 Hot Balls, and it's a tube of cheese balls, and it's just like the Death Nuts, but he says they're easier to like eat because they're cheese puffs. But it's gonna not end well for me.
A tube of cheese balls?
Yeah, it's like that big.
They're just really
like a little vial.
Think of like the Planters
cheesy poofs.
Yeah, like the Planters cheese balls that you get in the can.
Yeah,
they're that size, and then it's like mild to like extremely hot. And Johnny Scoville, he's a crazy dude, man. He eats a ton of just hot peppers for snacks. He's like, oh, the endorphin rush is great. I'm sitting there like, I'm fucking dying. Give me the milk. So I'm going to do that. And then eventually down the road, me and brother Brian Emslander are going to do Kelsey's steak challenge.
Oh, man.
But we're not going to do it at Kelsey's. We're going to do it. We're just going to buy the meat, and we're just going to do it at either my house or his.
I would like to be involved.
You can be.
Ooh, baby.
You can be too.
All right. I like to hate myself after I
invited you fuckers once.
And especially like too much steak.
I'm just saying.
It's the best thing to overindulge on and then be like, you piece of shit while you're laying in bed.
If I get steaks and you motherfuckers don't show up,
no.
Just like the pizza rolls, I'm telling you what. It's going to be called instant regret. The revenge of Chris.
He's like, now I'm instantly regretting being your fucking friend, you guys.
Gonna hear
what the hell?
You're going to hear the fucking Delta Force theme playing. I'm going to be riding on a motorcycle for you fuckers.
What is the steak challenge though? What's the?
It is. I read it's 6 pounds of steak.
Okay.
It's basically a couple of like sirloin roasts.
And the fucked up part is the Kelsey's challenge. It's like also you have to eat like a roll and a salad,
a slice of bread,
a fucking 20
potato,
soft
drink. Some kind of potato choice in a salad.
Yeah, and it's like a 20-ounce soft drink or something. Like the drink is part of it. They're like, you have to finish your fucking drink.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll be a nice, fun summertime.
I'm down to do it.
I think I could knock out on that shit, man.
I think I could pass out on that shit.
Steak is one of those things that like my body will let itself overindulge and be like,
for sure.
You literally have no more room for this.
Exactly,
but you love it. There's some like carnal animal part of my brain that's like, winter's coming.
Yeah. Well, I almost feel like the strategy for that would be to eat the sides first and then get the steak.
We're not doing sides too, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my God.
The challenge,
it's the whole challenge, bro.
Might as well do a tube as the side, and then the 6 pounds of fucking steak.
Fuck that, dude. No way, man. That thing.
Take it to the next level.
I shouldn't have even said that. I was going to try that shit because I really don't want to.
All right. Now you can't back out.
I'm going
All
to.
5 of our listeners are going to be like, we were expecting you to do this.
6 pounds of steak, that's a lot.
It is.
And by itself. And
we can divvy it up however we want,
look,
man.
The only reason Kelsey's is like 6 pounds of steak, but you also got to eat the salad, the roll, the potato. They want you to not be able to do it. We're not paying. Well, somebody's paying for this.
It's expensive,
but
man.
it's way more
like
expensive there. Is what I'm saying. Like,
I want to say this.
Well, it's literally like a super famous. I've seen it on fucking Food Channel, Travel Channel, and shit. Like,
there's this guy on YouTube. His name's Randy Santel, and he does a whole bunch of food challenges. He was actually up that way, and he did. He just makes it look like a walk in the park, man.
Like, real bright.
I know the sun is shining on us. Oh.
At dawn, look to the east.
Well,
Gandalf is here.
I
man.
see that you have something with you.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So I was leaving my house.
Something.
I was leaving my house, and Brother Dino said, I know it's probably too late, but you should have brought something hot for us all to eat. And I put it in park. I put it in park, and Tiff's like, What are you doing back inside? I go, Dino wants something hot. She just laughed, and she's like, you guys are fucked. And I'm like, yeah. So this is
she's like, you're already getting something hot.
17 years on Sunday, man.
Oh,
congratulations.
Last Sundays, man. That was, she's put up with me for that long. But this is
pineapple pepper sauce.
This is
who's it made by?
Yeah, who is it made by?
Burns and McCoy.
There was a challenge I did about a month and a half ago with my buddy Giggs,
McCoy,
and it was the Tame to Insane challenge. And what it was 12 bottles of hot sauce, and you take a spoonful from the mildest to the hot. The last one was the Reaper mash like tincture, and I'm like, I'm not doing that to Ian, so I'll just go the one less, just one tiny bit less.
Well,
it's Reaper mash, which for those who don't know, it clearly means Carolina Reaper, which is one of the top 3 hottest fucking peppers in the world.
Yeah, it's definitely up
Carolina
there.
Reaper.
Let's break for a second and find something to put it on, because I'm not just gonna have that shit on my finger or something.
No, you can't take that shit straight.
So,
you do like a spoonful, just do like as much as you want, man. A little.
See, me and Chris are
on
the same wavelength. We don't need something else, but
we don't need no sticky
I'm
chase
not
or
on that
something.
wavelength. Yeah. We'll break for a minute, and then you guys can watch us eat some bullshit with Chris from Instant Regret.
Hell yeah!
For this week's performance by our artist, we're gonna give ourselves a tummy ache.
You'll be
we got
all right.
6 pounds of steak to go along with it.
It's coming.
Yeah, if we could just get 6 pounds of steak to tap that on, I feel like I could handle it.
It would still be fucking hot.
All right.
Okay, well, the fucking roller coaster rides on as we're going to end this episode on a real
hot note.
Fuckeroni, baby.
Dipsy doo, fuckaroo.
So we're going to have Mr. Instant Regret himself, Kris Underwood.
Hey.
Dealer.
Honestly?
Here, I'll hold your mic for you.
Heavy.
You know what? Yeah?
Yeah.
Pour yours heavy?
You and me are in this together.
You know what?
I've
no.
You can pour his heavy. I
was going to say, you don't want that.
Here, I'll hold that.
Okay. I've done
yeah, baby.
Shake it
this
up.
is for you
shake
at
it
home.
up, shake it up, shake it up, shake it. Oh my goodness gracious. So this sauce is on one of my challenge videos we did. My buddy Jim. It was called the Tame to Insane Hot Sauce Challenge.
Okay.
And then it was the second to last sauce.
You told him
I'm
to pour
already
yours
regretting this decision.
Instantly?
Instant?
When I said,
Are you instantly
Was it
regretting
instant?
it?
Yeah.
Tito, I'll match you, bro. I'm not going to do anything you're not going to do, brother. Is that a little bit more?
No, this is
That's about it?
Yeah.
So, this is the
I
second
got
to
a big
last
chip,
sauce we
though.
did. And by the end of this thing, my mouth was just so fucked already that it didn't matter. So it was just, I tried putting that. I have not had this since. So,
all right.
Thanks
cheers.
for having me on, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Don't hate
except
me.
for the last part.
Well, these chips are stale.
I was gonna say I'm eating cardboard up in this fucking place, man.
I'm sorry.
Should
I
have
just
done it.
grabbed
Who put something worse in the other one's body? His stale chip or your fucking mace?
It's hot.
I really taste the pineapple.
It's hot. It's hot.
It tastes like burning tongue. I got the hiccups already. This
is the second time you've ever eaten something that gave you hiccups.
Yeah. What
I get
the
hiccups all
fuck?
the time.
Why is this so hot?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
serious.
Doesn't this look like fun?
your brain doesn't get that shit is this spicy.
I should do one every 3 days.
You should have done it with this.
Yeah,
Well,
that's awesome.
why? Hey, what a way to end a podcast.
The pineapple is making me cry.
Yeah, it's got a nice floral note of fucking burning and despair.
I'm like out of beer too. This is
Okay. And
My entire body is on fire. Yeah.
well. So I don't think we're gonna have much good conversation after this. So remember, thanks to Kris Underwood from Instant
we're all
Regret.
Thank you to all you guys.
Thank
It's
you to
fun.
Crystal Pistol. Thank you to Fish. Some people like us. Most people don't. Seems like he doesn't because he fucked us up.
I love you guys.